I really like the theme, chaos, controlled chaos. Maybe we can start with our CEO. Please talk to us about how you came about the theme, controlled chaos, and what it actually means.
Okay, so Advertisers Association of Nigeria is about brands in Nigeria. So when we talk about brands, we talk about any organization that tries to get knowledge about their products and services to the target, through media. So you can agree with me that the world is a little bit chaotic now in terms of the kind of media that we have, the kind of opportunities that people have to listen to you about your product. So the ability and the effectiveness in you getting your message to the right people, breaking through the barrier, is actually you trying to control the chaos and letting people know that you are there. So in a hyper-connected world, everybody's connected, in one way or the other. And reaching your target has become a little bit more cumbersome than it was a few years ago. They are more knowledgeable people. They have so much opportunities to get information. So you breaking through that clutter, is the chaos that you're trying to control.
Amazing.
Now, Mr. Uwubanmwen, Mr. President of ADVAN, who are the members of ADVAN, and could you tell us more about your organization?
Okay, so ADVAN is made up of brands. So there's product, there's brand. So brand is when you want to build your name to be known for something, to stand for something, and that kind of stuff. So every single brand can be a member of ADVAN. We have multinationals, large corporates, SMEs, so we have all in our kitty. The beauty of ADVAN is it's an advocacy group. It's a group in which we champion the cause of brand building and get people to come together and decide how, as brands, we have a conducive environment to build our brands.
Is it a Lagos thing or pan-Nigeria?
It's a pan-Nigeria thing. Okay. It's a Nigerian thing. So we have brands outside Lagos. So we have brands everywhere. So the guy that is selling pure water in Aba can be an ADVAN member. So it's that kind of organization in which it's an advocacy, and we have our pillars. We do a lot of capacity building and all that, and most of these things are for free. Members come for training for free, which they would have gotten somewhere else for a huge amount of money. So it's getting us together in a room discussing how best we can do what we do, which is about building brands. So most times it's just about ensuring that the brands are in a good place.
Okay, we'll come back to talk about how people can be part of ADVAN. But Madam CEO, when you were speaking, you talked about the challenge of getting the message across and how it's become increasingly cumbersome in this world that we are to be able to get your message across to your target audience. What would you say are some of the other challenges that brands currently face, and maybe talk about the role that ADVAN is playing in helping to ensure that these challenges or this divide is breached?
So when we talk about the challenges, do we have all week?
No, we just have a few
We just have a few minutes. So first of all, it's the natural challenges of any business, saying that how do I promote my business in the most effective manner? That means you do a little bit of research. This is what I am. This is the product I have. How do I turn this product into something that my consumers will want? So that's the general challenge. And as your audience is evolving, your tactics have to evolve. You're not speaking to the same people you spoke to 10 years ago. You're not operating in a world where we were 10 years ago. There's AI, there's the Internet of Things, there's such a connectivity and such a vast myriad of information. So you're trying to speak to a very intelligent audience. So those are the challenges. So as a brand, definitely you have to be on top of your game with your messaging. You have to be on top of your game with your research. You have to be on top of your game with the quality of personnel that are working for you. And then one of the things, like my president said, we're an advocacy group, is unnecessary policies that stifle creativity. We're talking about AI, and then as an agency say you can't use AI for your creative work. And we're like, in this world in 2025, you're telling us we can't use AI? I think my president wants to speak more on that. Those are the challenge. We want to break free, but it bottlenecks.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's the micro and the macro challenge, So internally, we have a lot of how do we allocate resources? How do we get things done? How do we then do our work with getting the buck for each night that we spend, so go far and not that. So that's the challenge. And you're also competing against other brands, you know what I'm saying? So because everybody needs that customer you need. The huge one for us is the external environment challenge, in which regulation, it's something that has kept us away for like 2 years.
Do you interface with the regulatory?
Okay, so it's a very good question, because if you are regulating advertising, and we are the advertisers, you exist because we are.
Exactly.
Because you were created to regulate us. So there should be a robust channel and conversation for that to happen, which has not been happening. And I say to people, one of the reasons why we think it's not happening from our end is that if we had, okay, so the law that was created gave us a council in which everybody that's in the ecosystem sits in a room and have a conversation. So we are having to fight outside instead of fighting inside, resolve and come out. So the question I have been asking, and which is one of the reasons why we're asking the federal government to please give us a council, because the whole chaos that we're having outside, imagine you guys come into a room and have a conversation. Then you can vote, it's the democracy. And then whoever wins knows that, okay, you're going to state your case.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when policies come out and people are wondering, where did this come out from? How did this happen? Who is doing this? So it's really a chaotic environment.
I wish we had time to speak about the policies, but maybe if we do have time.
Tomorrow is the big day. Yes, the ADVAN Marketing Awards. It's award ceremony. BAFTA was last week. It was Grammys and Oscar season approaching. So tell us about this ADVAN Marketing Awards. What are the criteria for the nominations, and what happens there?
So we call ourselves the Oscars of marketing.
I like it.
Yes. And we truly, with all modesty, ADVAN Awards is the biggest marketing awards in Africa.
You can toot your own.
I can toot my own. This is 13 years down the line. We have a very thorough process. So what happens is that we have like 13 categories, which could be campaign of the year, the brand of the year, the most innovative campaign of the year. And we do not just give out awards. There are specific evaluation criteria that everyone must, find a way to answer. So you don't just, in other words, that you have a letter that you begin an award. There's nothing like that. There's an evaluation, thorough evaluation process that is done by professionals in marketing, professionals in business, academy, and is done. So the winners are honestly the most celebrated organizations. And we've also seen that most of the winners of the ADVAN Awards are the ones that are even topping the category. So if whatever category that brand is playing in, most of the time you see that as a winner, they are also a leader in that category. So what the ADVAN Awards is seeking to do is to say, we want to help you run your campaigns in a more effective manner. And how do you do that? They'll say, was there any research behind this campaign? Did you just wake up and say, oh, we want to turn this package blue? Did you do a research to say that
thoughts behind it?
People like blue package? And then after you've done it, did you go back and do an evaluation to see that the campaign met its objective? So we're trying to encourage our members to say, look at what your peers are doing in the industry. Are you doing it just as well? And then we celebrate the winners.
Olive, she's right when she said it's the marketing Oscars, because I remember, I just recalled I attended an ADVAN Marketing Awards a few years ago at Harbour Point. And it was really the Oscars. They took care of my stomach.
Stomach infrastructure. Honestly, I think that it's important, the work that you're doing in terms of ensuring that there's thought put behind campaigns, as opposed to the fact that we are currently in a world where people will do the worst things to trend, and for cloud's sake. But when I remember sitting here, I remember some of the campaigns and the adverts that I watched as a child, and I can still remember them today, because you can tell that there was a lot of work that was put into this.
Absolutely.
So just to quickly mention, or to go back a little to the nomination, what's the nomination process like? Could individuals was it made open publicly, and the assessment, there are people that would argue about certain award categories that, I want to be sure that it was free, fair, credible. Can you guarantee us the freeness, the fairness, and the credibility of the award?
Absolutely.
So just to throw some light into it, there's what we call the Chinese one. I don't even know a single winner, and I'm president. The jury selection is so done perfectly that everybody would get to see the members of the jury on that day. They will then give their insights as to what they did. They judge separately. You have your own paper and you are judging. Nobody is having conversation. When you're done, people get to gather it, the auditors audit and all kinds of stuff. So you would not find a single person say or brand say, oh, how did this person win? Because the data is there.
All right.
There's a process to it.
Yeah.
So when you let people have the process to how you win, and then you deliver on the process from end to end to end to end, it's you. I wish you guys would come and you see what we're talking about.
Please invite us. We would love to come.
Please, you are invited already. Just please come. People see people celebrate, and what I like about it is it's a big pool of learning.
Yeah.
So because we all have different issues, and it's very heartwarming to see another brand that have done something. I say, oh, I can copy this.
Yeah.
I can do this. The thinking behind it was marvelous. It's something I think I'm also suffering from, which I can learn. So it's a big learning pool.
Okay, let's bring in your publicity secretary, who's joining us, the publicity secretary of ADVAN, Adeola Amosutu, the publicity director. Thank you very much for that. Publicity director of ADVAN, Adeola Amosu. Thank you very much for joining us. Just to ask, I'm going to ask a two-part question. Okay. So first of all, when people hear ADVAN, what do you want them to think? What is the one word or line that you want to jump at them, or idea? And then when they hear of ADVAN Awards, especially those who will be attending tomorrow, what feeling would you like them to take away from the awards?
So in one word, thank you so much, the presenter. In terms of what we want people to see when they see ADVAN is advocacy, because what we do as a brand or as an association is to represent the interest of all association members. And when you talk about the ADVAN event, I think my CEO and my presidents have exhaustively talked about what to expect tomorrow. But what I think a lot of people particularly be looking forward to, as far as the event tomorrow is concerned, is the campaign of the year, because a lot of brands think they've done a lot of things last year, right? And I mean, for someone who represents a conglomerate of brands as well, I think instantly I have about 5 brands that are already saying, we think we deserve to win the Campaign of the Year award. There are also brands from the outside that are saying they think they deserve to win the Campaign of the Year award. And that's a category I believe a lot of people are going to be looking forward to. In addition to that, I know that conversations around artificial intelligence and machine learning is becoming a big thing, which is a category we've also introduced this year. It would be nice to see which of the brand ultimately gets that gong, that award at the end of the day.
I like how you say it would be nice to see which of the brands. Like you don't already know which brand. I'm trying to beg you to give us small expo, maybe after the show.
Idea.
Oh, he has no idea?
No.
Oh, wow.
Even the executive council members do not know who the winners are.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. Okay. Now I'm even more excited. But now away from the ADVAN Awards and what people will be looking forward to and the categories that you think would cause a lot of buzz, let's talk about ADVAN as an organization. What would you say when you, maybe the first 3 words that come to your mind when you think about ADVAN, or what do you want people to think about when they think of ADVAN?
So when you think of ADVAN, what we would like businesses in Nigeria to think about is capacity development, knowledge sharing, because we happen to be part of the World Federation of Advertisers, where you have a long list of countries as a member, and what that therefore means is you can have case studies, researches, or data that have been done in other markets adopted in this country. So in terms of what we also represent, like I mentioned earlier, we advocate for our member, we push for strategic collaboration. I know that a number of brands are have certain issues that they experience, and I believe the president and the CEO must have talked about this exhaustively as well. But some of the issues that we today have, which is in terms of regulation, which I think a lot of association members also, mention, is something that ADVAN consistently try to find how to strategically collaborate with policymakers and regulators to find lasting solutions to it. So, I mean, brands, with the fact that they're facing odds and challenges in the market, what ADVAN tries to do is to consistently try to engage with relevant stakeholders to find lasting solutions to some of the issues that they have. So we're trying to build a market or an industry where brands are not only surviving, but they're thriving.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Adeola. Madam CEO, there are people that are watching now and listening to this conversation and say, I like what these people represent. How do I become a part of ADVAN?
Okay, so the good thing is that we recognize the fact that we have organizations that are in certain brackets. We have the SMEs and we have the large corporates, we have the multinationals, and we have packages for all of them. So to join our association, you can just go to our website, which is advertisersnigeria.com, advertisersnigeria.com, or you can send us an email on info@advertisersnigeria.com, and just tell us that I'm a business, I'm a registered business, and I do marketing to get my products to my members, and we'll have a short meeting with you, and we'll welcome you on board.
Influencers also a part of ADVAN, because we're starting to see a new direction. Lots of stories too are being told. And is there maybe a possibility that in the future there'd be an introduction of influencers?
They seem to be disrupting the advertising space.
Brands are making use of influencers as well.
So let me say, explain who we are. So advertisers are clients, organizations, client-side marketers. When you're an advertiser, some people may think it's an advertising agency.
Right.
But advertising agencies work for us. So we are the Coke, we are the Nigerian breweries, we are the Nestle, we are the, I'm sorry for mentioning brands, but we are the MTN, we are the Tolaram, we are the Indomie. That's who we are. So we are organizations that use advertising agencies and put our advertising on media.
Thank you for clarifying.
So we are the, like my president likes to say, we are the brains and we are the wallets.
Especially the wallets.
Okay, I mean, it's been a very interesting conversation so far tomorrow. We're looking forward to ADVAN Awards. Any other?
I just wanted to ask you guys, beyond the ADVAN Awards, do you have periodic events and other things that happen during the course of the year?
We have a very active calendar. So we have the likes of the CMO Forum, we have a day for stakeholder engagement, we have a day in which we get people into a room and discuss with even the external people in the industry. We are also very active players in even issues of other associations. Because what I say to people, what affects them affects us. They work for us. They were created to enable us to do what we need to do. So be an outdoor practitioner, even the influencers. Most of them will tell you without the brands, they won't be where they are today.
Absolutely.
So you see where we play. So if anything is affecting influencers, it also affects us because we also need them to do what we need to do. So it's a robust calendar from year back to back to back. We have a lot of activities, and you just visit our website, you see a lot of things we do there.
We don't just want to visit your website, we want to come for ADVAN Awards.
Please, you're invited. I think to add to what my president said, we have a robust training calendar as well, which is both physical and online, and that a lot of SMEs can key into. We teach SMEs how to grow your brand into becoming like a multinational brand. What do the multinational brands, what have they done? You can do it as well, teaching them how to conduct researches, how to do marketing in an effective way, not just saying, oh, I want my product, I'm going to go to Facebook. Why are you going to Facebook? You understand the knowledge behind why you're doing Facebook, or you might be better using outdoor. So those are the knowledge that we need people to understand, that you don't just do a stab in the dark. You have properly articulated plans so that your brand can grow.
Data-backed,
Absolutely.
I'm sure New Central corporates have a lot of cooperation with you guys. Yeah.
Great.
Well,
Thank you so much. We can really see the work.
Brand is branded.
We're counting down the hours. Tomorrow is ADVAN Awards for Marketing Excellence. It's happening 22nd of February, and it's happening at Admiralty Conference Centre, Naval Dockyard, Amadu Bello Way. As a way of to lighten up the conversation, final thoughts on the Excellence Awards. Is there a dress code? Are we guaranteed food and drinks very plenty?
Can I tell you the dress code?
Please tell me.
So the dress code is bold and disruptive.
Wow. It goes with the theme.
Yes.
So we want you to be bold and disruptive. Don't conform to any.
What I can wear.
Yes. So that's the dress code. And then you see, we have all the drinks brands bringing their drinks. We have enough food, entertainment.
I've been there before. So
Okay, I take your word for it, and I take yours as well.
Our job is about creating marvelous, magnificent events.
Yes.
So what do you expect?
What do you expect?
Who are championing such things?
Exactly.
Exactly.
The brains and the wallet.
That's the one you remember.
Wallet and food, that's one that concerns my co-host. Adiola, just a final thought as well in terms of how people can follow maybe on social media or websites, their hashtags you like to promote as well. If you can share that with us as we wrap up the conversation.
The hashtag is simply as ADVAN Nigeria, at ADVAN Nigeria on Instagram, on Twitter, and then in terms of websites, what we have is Advertisers Association of Nigeria.com.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those who cannot attend, we have gotten invite. You have not gotten invite. Unfortunately, we commiserate with you for not yet getting your invite. But you can keep up to date with all the activities that will be happening tomorrow.